Today, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the Jabra Elite 85H active noise cancelling headphones. And we're going to be comparing them to two giants, the Sony WH-1000 XM3 and the Bose QC35 2s.
The approach we are planning to take today is a very simple A, B, C, D, E approach. Yeah, we can spell. Each of these letters signifies something important about these headphones. So let's start with B, because why not?
B for build, and it be built like it can take a beating. The build seems tough with minimal creakage. The faux leather on the ear cups are similarly shaped to the Sony and the Bose, making them very comfortable to wear for long periods of time.
An added advantage is that the Jabras have a secure clamp on your head. They're a little bit heavier than the Sonys and the Bose, but we easily got used to them. At the 1 hour mark, I did start to feel a little bit of ear fatigue and pressure around the ears, but it was certainly tolerable.
But you know what isn't so tolerable?
I don't know, small YouTubers think they're influencers. Please do subscribe, guys.
What? No. I mean, do subscribe, but that's not what I meant. Jabra uses smooth sliders for their headband adjustment instead of adjustment clicks. And that drives me up the wall. Then again, could just be my OCD. I want both sides to be equal. I'm an equality kind of guy.
C is for call quality. And if you make a lot of calls like we do, the Jabra might just be the pair for you.
Or the Bose. And both headphones are the best when it comes to phone call quality from the headphones that we've tested so far.
No surprise here, since Jabra is the best in the business when it comes to, well, calls. The company is best known in the industry for the headsets and speakers, found mostly in office environments.
And as a fuck mom, I go to the aforementioned office environment, but I also have a work-life balance, which means I like to walk outdoors and cycle through the streets of Holland. And even in windy conditions, making calls on the Elite 85H is an absolute breeze. We got our hands on the black version of the Jabras, and they blend in well with the Sony and Bose.
And our jackets, and our hair,
and our beard.
Jabra has taken a lot of inspiration for its physical design from the Sony, the way the headphones fold, the ear pads, and the case. In fact, the Jabras fit perfectly well in the WH-1000 XM3 case. We don't mind this approach, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
D is for design. That bend gives it a bulky look, and I'm all about that slim profile.
Yeah, you've got enough things sticking out of your head, don't you?
But this design choice does strongly remind me of the Surface headphones. And give us a comment if you want to see a review of the Surface headphones.
On the surface of the Jabras, you can find nylon material-like texture, which gives a nice feel in the hand, but the biggest downside is it's a lint magnet.
I'm personally glad that Jabra went the utilitarian route and stuck with buttons. None of that touchy-feely business, which means they just work. The play-pause button on the right ear cup has a dimple, which means when you pick up these headphones, you immediately know which way they go on.
Okay, E is for extras. Let's talk about how you switch these headphones on and off. It's a blast from the past, It's similar to the PXC550s from Sennheiser. Just twisting the ear cups turns them on or off. Personally, we love it here at DHRME because you don't have to think if your headphones are on or not. You end up saving a lot of battery that way. One of the biggest features that Jabra is trying to sell, with these headphones are the SmartSound features. And what it basically does is use the mics in your headphones to detect what kind of ambient noise there is and tries to guess where you are.
Yep.
So it can do that switching automatically, but if you don't like how that works, you can hit it manually and you can switch that as well. So you have quite a bit of flexibility there. Very similar to the Sonys,
Yep.
but the Sonys are basically about noise cancellation.
But Jabra takes them to a whole new level.
Yes.
Right? You can change these profiles not only on noise cancelling level, but on your EQ level, how it auto pauses music, what the call experience should be like. Well, speaking of flexibility, Rohan, Jabra promises multi-device connections, but it doesn't do it that well.
No.
You've experienced some problems, haven't you?
Yes, so I have a MacBook and an iPhone, so I try to switch between those two. If I'm editing a video on the laptop, I try to switch to Spotify on my phone or something like that.
Yeah.
And I always have trouble with it. Not only is the switching troublesome, but at some point, listening to a song, the song starts skipping. So I I think the Bluetooth connection isn't performing very well there, which is ironic considering they're supposed to have a big range. That wasn't a great experience for me.
Interesting. So MacBook and iPhone, you said? Both Apple products. So yeah, I used Android and Windows 10. I didn't experience what you experienced, but I did experience other problems. And that was when I connected to both devices, I could see that they were both connected, but whichever device I started playing, music or YouTube from, it would only work with that. So if I even paused it on the primary device and I would play with the secondary one, it wouldn't play.
Grudgingly, I would admit that the Bose does a much better job with this, right?
Yes.
Okay, talking about battery life, the Jabras do promise and perform quite well, 30 to 40 hours depending on noise cancelling and other settings.
But who cares?
It sounds a bit harsh, but what is your realistic use case? Are you using these 30 to 40 hours in a row? I use it a couple of hours a day on my commute, and that lasts me 2 weeks with the Sony.
Yeah.
Maybe the Jabra would last me 2.5 or 3 weeks. I don't think it necessarily is a major value add, but it's nice to have if you need that feature.
And especially considering most phones these days come with USB Type-C. So does the Jabras, so you're going to be charging them. Oh, Apple user, forgot. Yeah, well, most normal people. And Jabras do offer quick charges.
It also has a nice Find My Headphones feature, so that's nice because this is expensive gear. So the moment you switch your headphones off, your phone, if you enable it, records the last location of your headphones.
That's smart.
It's a good feature to have. And the clamping force also really helps with the passive noise isolation because you can block out a lot of the sound just with the seal. And another thing I really like is in windy conditions, it helps well with the blocking of the noise because on the Sony, if you don't turn on wind noise isolation, it's just wind through your audio. Whereas with the Jabras, that's not the case. So I really like the passive seal on it. Alright, after B, C, D, and E, it's time for A, the bottom line audio. So this comprises two sections. We're talking about the audio quality from the headphones, listen to music and things like that. We're also going to talk about noise cancelling. Let's start with the audio quality. I'm just going to talk about a typical use case with wireless headphones. We're not going to go into wired and high quality codecs and high quality music and things like that. I just tested it with Spotify and headphones, and to be honest, despite the lack of high quality codecs, the ASCs and things like that, I think they sound quite good. They have a different sound profile, and the Sonys are much more bass heavy and much lower on the highs. I like how the Jabra sound. I in fact prefer them a little bit to the Sony. I think the Sonys have gone a bit too bass heavy with the XM3s. The highs are good. They're not as subtle as the Bose. I like the Bose highs as well, but they're definitely not as sibilant as your Sennheiser PXC550s. And the best part I found was if you turn the bass up in the EQ and you're a real bass head, you can get enough bass. So overall, very nice sounding pair of headphones. And initially when the Jabras were released, there was a problem with the volume levels, but they have since issued a firmware update. And in my testing, they were way louder than the Bose, so no problems there.
And speaking of noise cancelling, well, they're clearly not in the same league as Sony and Bose. They do cancel out most of the noise, but you'll never really feel like it's totally gone. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? You want some of the noise to be cancelled out, you're going to get that. It's not going to be top of the range though.
Alright, it's time for to buy
or not to buy. You should buy the Jabra Elite 85H if 1. You want less mainstream headphones and spend less on them.
Speaking of spending less, check out the latest prices using the links in the description below. If you use those links, it will help out the channel a little bit, but it won't cost you anything extra.
Alright, moving on. Number 2, quality phone calls are of high priority to you. In all ambient conditions, whether that be indoor or outdoor, then these are the headphones for you. 3, you want a no-nonsense build headphones with good old clicky buttons. 4, you have a work-life balance and you enjoy a balanced sound signature with satisfactory noise cancelling. And 5, you want some extra features apart from noise cancelling only.
Why you would not buy the Jabra over other headphones is 1, the sound signature. Maybe you find it too flat, maybe you like those high quality codecs. If you're that kind of person, maybe you don't want the Jabras. 2, you really want the best quality of noise cancelling out there. That is not these headphones, that's either the Bose and even better the Sony. And 3, your biological proportions don't allow for extra width in the headphones department.
You've been learning to spell.
And we've been ABCDE.
No, DHRME.
We've been DHRME.
Today, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the Jabra Elite 85H active noise cancelling headphones. Today, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the Jabra Elite 85H ANC headphones. And we're going to be comparing them to two of the biggest giants in the...
Because there's these small giants, we're not going to look at today. This is going to be a long session. Yeah.
Little